Hello. Today I would like to talk to you about Flickr and how it has the potential to encourage more participation in Carson City Library's programs and events. But before we get too far into it, let's take a moment to familiarize ourselves with Carson City and its main public library. As you can see from the picture at the top of the slide, while Carson City is considered 95% urban, it is still surrounded by rural areas and just plain desert. This creates the feeling of a small town, yet provides all the amenities of a bigger city. This also causes the median household income to be a bit lower than average for the state, but the cost of living is also a bit lower. The population of 55,182 residents is made up of almost equal parts men and women, and the average age is around 44 years old. Carson City also just happens to be the capital of Nevada, which means that the population does fluctuate a little due to government operations. The Carson City Library is the main public library of Carson City, Nevada. Of the total population of the city, the library counts 43,690 people as patrons. The Carson City Library is the largest library in a statewide library co-op that includes libraries from every county in Nevada other than Clark, Washoe, and Douglas counties. This defines the setting for my proposal. Brings us back around to what my actual proposal is. I believe that adding the use of Flickr to the current mix of social media platforms that the Carson City Library is using would help encourage event and program participation. Let me be clear. I am not suggesting we get rid of any of the social media accounts the library is currently employing. All of them are doing well and continue to benefit the library. I am just pushing for a new space, particularly a space in which we can store event and program photographs in a more organized, consistent, and meaningful way. Flickr may be older than most of the other popular social media sites, but it still does photos best, since it specializes in that medium and never really tried to incorporate much else. Currently, the Carson City Library regularly posts to three main social media sites: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Only two of these platforms are consistently used for photographs: Facebook and Instagram. And while these two sites do offer image features such as albums and/or filters, they are not easily set up for tasks such as slideshows or organizing large quantities of material. My point is, none of the other social media sites that the Carson City Library already uses performs the tasks that are needed to keep up with all the photographs that are produced from all the programs and events hosted by the library. But why Flickr and not, say, Pixabay or Shutterstock? 3 reasons. It is free to use. You can get a subscription version, but it is not necessary. It is popular among parent-aged adults, as you can see in the chart. And it is ranked #1 in the world for best website dealing with photography. This screenshot shows the top rankings as of June 1st, 2019. Okay. So you are all still wondering what this has to do with encouraging more patrons to participate in programs and events at the Carson City Library. Well, it all boils down to our target audience. You may think that because well over half of our programs are geared toward children and teens, that the target audience would be children and teens, and this is true. However, I believe that targeting the parents as well can increase the number of attendees, because a lot of the kids need parental permission and/or supervision to attend. That is where Flickr comes in. Parents love seeing pictures of their children. Facebook is adequate at displaying photos, But what if you could share slideshows and different albums without any of the other Facebook features getting in the way? Flickr is a cleaner, more professional-looking social media site that can allow the library to share program and event photos in style and with the sole purpose of sharing those photos. An added bonus is that most children and teens do not use Flickr and therefore won't be so against participating in programs if they know their photos won't automatically be on the popular sites to embarrass them. This slide shows an example of what a Flickr slideshow might look like. The photos used here are from my personal collection and are random, but you all get the idea. You can use the Flickr slideshow feature to create slideshows for parents of their kids at the various programs and events, including slumber parties for their stuffed animals, summer reading program parties, Lego Club, any number of events or programs. They are very well touched up and professional looking. Now let's assume that you are all on board with adding Flickr to the Carson City Library's list of current social media sites. There are still some issues to discuss. Number one, who is going to be responsible for this tool or application? I would suggest that the same person who does the rest of the social media now adds this to his or her tasks, as they will likely be using the same photographs that they receive or create for the other platforms. Number two, how often would this tool or application be used or updated? It really just depends. It is my suggestion that this social media tool only be used for those times at programs or events when photographs are taken. Obviously, this may be weekly, monthly, or yearly. For every single Lego club, we may not take photographs. But to keep it fresh, perhaps adding a new album of old pictures each month or so might help. Number three, how much time per week or per day is required by staff for this tool or application? This depends on how many photographs are taken and good enough to share, but I would suggest setting aside about an hour a week or so for 1 or 2 employees to update and keep up with it. Number 4, would other staff members be able to use this, and who would train them? This program is very simple, and any staff member should be able to use this social media site. Training them would just be a simple cheat sheet that can be made once and then reused, and a copy of the social media policy for the library, so that no one gets in trouble. Number 5, how would you market this tool or application to the group you are targeting? Not only would we inform the attendees with their parents at the programs or events that there are or will be pictures available on Flickr, but we would also use our other social media sites to build up the excitement about this new old tool we are now using. Facebook would be especially helpful as it caters to those of the same parenting age and refers back to Flickr often. Number 6, how would you measure the success of the tool or application and how often? It really takes at least a year to know if a social media tool you are using is working well or not, and to measure the number of album views or slideshow views per event or program is one way of measuring success. Also, you can see if your attendance for programs and events have risen since implementing a Flickr account, and perhaps take a short survey on whether the attendees like or dislike the Flickr account idea. As far as how often, I really believe that measurements for Flickr should be by a percentage according to how many programs and events there were given in a period of, say, a month, and then go from there. Each month will vary greatly. I hope that I have impressed upon you all that adding Flickr to the Carson City Library's list of social media accounts can help encourage patrons to attend and participate in the many awesome programs and events that happen throughout the year, and that better organized and professional looking photographs is just the cherry on the top of what can only be a success. Thank you for listening and spending your time with me today. Have a good day.